Hello, everyone. I'm Esperanza Walsh, and this is Art from the Heart at St. Augustine's Church. And we're doing the session remotely due to the lockdown because of COVID-19. And today's topic would be some sort of a combination of what we have learned in the past. So we are going to paint this forest scene with water in front. And we just need a few colors for it. We need green, of course, black, blue, orange, brown, and yellow ochre. So let's start. So I have my A4 sheet of watercolor paper. And the first thing I have to do would be to paint the whole thing with water. But before I do that, I want to show you a rough sketch of how I want to paint the sheet of paper. This orange broken line here shows which area would be in yellow ochre and which area would be left just with the water. So this, on this part of the paper, would be painted with yellow ochre, and this one would not be painted. But again, before we do all of this, we would have to paint the whole thing with water and just allow the paint to spread by itself so it looks more natural. Now, you would see here this purple shapes. These are actually markers that I would like to place on the sheet. So I will not be doing it on the art piece. Okay, maybe I should so that you can see what I exactly mean. Okay, let me just put a line. Because what I wanted to do was just to leave that unpainted so it's white. But just to show you, I would actually draw the shape. So I have this, I would have this randomly shaped objects. I'm not sure if you can see it, but the shape is the shapes of the objects are actually like this, but I did it on pencil and I don't think they can be seen on the screen. So just imagine these shapes being transferred to this paper. Okay, and so that's it. We can begin painting it with water and putting the yellow ochre base. So again, we have to paint it with water. Let me get my big brush. Yes, my big brush. And I just paint the whole thing. Make sure it's wet, but not too wet that it drips. So we're using wet on wet technique first for the yellow ochre. Or alternatively, you can use dry and wet. But remember, the base has to be wet for this part of this painting. Okay, now I've got my round brush with some yellow ochre paint. And again, if you remember, that line is what we will follow. So like that. See, it's already starting to spread on the paper. So let me just have the paint. Okay, I've just dipped my brush in water. Okay, because it seems to be drying very fast. Okay. So it is drying quite fast, faster than I expected. We did this exercise earlier. However, it dried quite slowly. So now it's drying quite fast, which is in a way good because we would be able to finish the art piece quickly. Because earlier, it caused us some delay because we had to wait for the paper to dry, and it really took a while. So it's now drying very quickly. And maybe in a minute or two, we would be able to paint the next layer that we need for this art piece. Okay, it's almost completely dry. So what we're going to do while waiting for it would be to paint the water. I usually do this when I'm almost at the end, but since we're waiting for the top part to dry, so we're going to paint the part that's supposed to be the water in the scene. Okay, so we painted that area with water first, and now I've mixed blue and black to create this dark blue color. Okay, and this bit in this area would be a little solid, a little more solid than those in the lower part. There we go. And then later on, to put some accents, we are going to paint it dry on dry. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, let me just move this a little bit. So if you are doing this painting, it should be facing you this way to see that this is the top part and this is the bottom part. Okay, so let me do that. Now, the next color I need would be light green. And light green would be for the background. So what I'm doing is just adding yellow to my green paint. And then I'm going to paint some trees. Okay, well, some objects in the shape of trees in the background. With this light green paint. There we go. Wow, that's very nice. That's lovely. So we have this tree in the background. Then I'm gonna paint another tree, also in the same color. But this would be a different tree, different shape of branches. And there we go. So I will now leave this to dry. And while doing so, I will start here on the shrubs. Okay. So I'm just putting light green paint, really light green for my shrubs. Yeah, I can even connect them to these trees over here. And again, I will be leaving certain areas white. Now with this light green paint, I think this is a good time for us to mark the shape of the shrubs. Okay, after I leave the white areas, we are going to go to the shape of the shrubs. So here, I would like to have one right there. Oops. And then like that. So that's one of my shrubs. And then I will have one here at the back. And maybe one here as well. Maybe a bigger one here. And then this one would be another shrub. And then this one again, another one. Oh, it's looking good. Okay, we're just waiting for this part to dry so that we can paint the next layer of trees. So let me just view my shrubs. Wow, looking good. It's perfect. I love it. So the next thing is we paint it with green. A little, maybe a little bit of dark green in my opinion. But again, quite dilute. Okay, and then we paint the trees over here. So this is the next layer. And there we go. We have a layer of tree there. And then we'll put another one here in the middle. So just like that. And then create some branches. Perfect. Okay, and now we do another one here. I wanted to sway to that direction as well. And maybe put a smaller branch here. Wow, that's lovely. So this being bigger actually looks closer to the viewer. Fantastic. So we now have this layer of trees. The last layer would be in brown, but we have to let this dry before we can do that. So we go back to the shrubs here. So going back to the shrubs, I am going to put a layer of dark green. So we do it similar to the way we did the ones earlier. So we dab it. And this would give us some sort of leaf shapes. There we go. Oh, it's just beautiful. Look at those. Look at that character on the leaves. It is lovely. Wonderful. Oh, wow. This is just amazing. So we are now creating dimensions for the shrubs. Fantastic. Wow, we're almost finished with this layer. I hope the trees here are also almost dry. Okay, let's give it more character. Maybe I'll put a drop of orange. Just get some orange paint. Yeah, maybe some orange here as well. As we can see, the orange paint don't seem to belong in that scenario. So we're going to dip our brush in water and then use it to spread the orange that we have tapped on to make it look like it's part of that beautiful scenery. So we just dab it with our brush. And it's so beautiful because you can see the different intensity of the colors. And some of them mixing in a very smooth and gradual transformation, while others you can see the lines, really crisp lines like those on the trees. It's just amazing. And some of them mix and create some sort of a brownish like color. Oh, let's put some yellow ochre as well. So that would add more character. And just like the orange paint, I would need to dip my brush in water to soften the effect of yellow ochre that we have just dabbed on. Look at that, just perfect. Wow. Now, I think we're ready for some brown trees. So I'm just gonna get some brown paint. Okay. For that, I'm using burnt umber. And I'm gonna put some, mix it with a little bit of black paint just to darken it a little bit more. So when I say a little bit of black paint, I really mean just a little bit because as I always say, black is very overwhelming. So it might upstage the whole art piece. So our aim here is just to make it darker. Okay. So I am now going to paint the trees here. Okay. And this is in brown. So mix with a little bit of black. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, now more branches for a brown tree. Perfect. One more brown tree, and then we can go back to this area. So we'll do a brown tree over here. I'm just going to turn the paper a little bit to make it easy for me. Yes, when you're painting your scenery, or anything for that matter, you can actually turn the paper around, point it to whatever direction, whichever would make it easier for you to do the art piece. And for this video, you can also pause it anytime you want to, and play it from the start. If you feel that you've missed something or you want to repeat something, just do that. Just pause it, or go back to the start, or go to any point of the video. So we now have this forest trees at the back of the scene. Oh, it's just so beautiful. So I need more dark green paint now. Okay. I think I need a little bit more black paint to darken my green paint. There we go. And I'm going to put this in this well, which is for my dark green. Take a little of the black paint, mix them together. Oh, beautiful. And then I am going to add some water. And I'm gonna test it. Oh, perfect. It's very dark, but it's very green. So now I just have to go through each of my shrubs. Wow, okay, my shrubs look wild. However, the rays of the sun would help me. So what I mean is I have to be mindful that my sunlight is coming, let's say, from this direction or from this direction. So if it's coming from this direction, my shadows would be over here. That means darker leaves. There we go. But what's nice about this, even if you dab dark green on it, is that you would still be seeing the colors such as orange and yellow ochre seeping through those spaces that you don't paint with dark green. Okay, and then here's another one. Another shrub. And then another one over here. So there we go. Let me just turn it around so I can see how it looks. Oh, it's looking good. So just dab it further, create those leaf textures, and spread them around. Beautiful. Now, I need to get some black paint. Okay, and darken some part of it. Now we do it first by mixing the black paint with a little water, and by a little again means a little water, just to make it fluid. Then I am going to draw a line here using my brush, and that would be in black. And from this point, we will be dabbing some black paint going up. Okay. And then we would also be dabbing some black paint going down. So that would be the reflection in the water. of our shrubs. I might need to replenish my black paint. Okay. And this would add dimension to our shrubs here in this forest landscape. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Wow, that is amazing. But I need more black paint. And then I also need to add water to that black paint and mix it. Perfect. And then I shall continue dabbing the black paint on the paper. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Isn't that nice? And we just spread it here at the bottom of the page again to create that appearance of leaves on the water. Oh, perfect. This is just amazing. So we've done the water bit, and we're going to do some more work over there later on. So now we're going to do some finishing here. And to do that, we're going to add a few more plants, but with black paint. So I'm gonna paint one coming from here, like that. So just a simple one. And then we're going to do another one coming from here. Wow, we are almost there. Maybe one or two here. One, two. Perfect. So now we have a few more plants sprouting from the bushes. So just going to dab black paint over there just to make it look more natural. Oh, beautiful. Just perfect. So we have that, and we will dab more black paint here just to make the transition of colors more natural. And I am also going to get some of my leftover yellow ochre paint and use that over here to help the colors transition. So I am not trying to cover the black paint, but I'm just trying to help the colors transition from dark to light by using my leftover yellow ochre paint. Let me get some more of that. Oh, beautiful. And it would add character to the art piece as well. There we go. Maybe some green as well. And just let it spread into the black paint. And when it dries, it is going to look more natural. As you can see, it would have some sort of a smoother transition of colors. Okay, I know I've said this so many times, we're almost finished. I just need to brush a little more of the blue paint here. Okay, now, this is now dry on dry. And the reason being is that I want the brush strokes to be seen to give, to show some direction for the water. Okay, so this is our finished art piece. And we have applied the techniques that we have learned in the past few weeks. So it's forest scape with some body of water. And next time, we are going to explore more about mixing colors and creating some feathering. And of course, also use gradient much more. Okay, thank you very much for joining me, and see you next time. Bye-bye.